Hey guys, Interactor127 here, and welcome to my next video game walkthrough. It's been a long time since I've done one of these since I've filmed or played this game. It's been about a year, I want to say, which this game came out a long time ago, so it's relatively early. But let's see. If you haven't guessed already, it's Ultimate Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2. Now, I love this game. This is based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics by Brian Michael Bendis. Let's see if I can... here we go. I believe this is the first controller that we got. And yeah, so in this game, there's a duality between Spider-Man and Venom. You get to play as Spider-Man sometimes. You get to play as Venom sometimes. It's a very interesting story. I'm not going to spoil it all for you. This is a pretty short game, but and it makes it kind of an easy walkthrough. I'll try to get back to Batman Arkham City once we're done with playing this game. So let's see. We're going to make a new profile, and I'll turn this down. This is pretty loud. I'm just going to say Interactor. And yeah, if some of you haven't noticed already, I do know that there's an E before the R in Interactor, or an O instead of an E like I have. That was a typo on my part, but I kind of like the charm of it. So I'm just gonna keep it that way. So yeah, and I'm gonna there we go. We'll see. Alright. I think, yeah, that's as much as we're going to be able to fit on here. But here we go. Accept. So now we're going to dive right into the game. You can see, so the comic covers represent what's happening in each level. So we're going to fight Venom in this first level.
Of course. It's nonsense like this. A few months ago, I reunited with my childhood friend Eddie Brock. What is that? It's our inheritance. Eddie's dad and my dad worked together before they died.
We believe the suit may be the final step. Finally, a cure for cancer. People are dying all over the world. All I want to do is try to help them. But because I signed the wrong paper with the wrong person, I can't.
They had taken the suit away from Dad, and I was going to take it back.
By the way, there are no subtitles in this game, so I can't.
I thought, I knew I could finish what he started. I felt good. Great. More than myself. It didn't last. What's happening to me? Is this all for me? I don't know what the suit had become or what it had done to me, but I have super spider powers and I couldn't control it, so I don't think anyone could ever hope to. But when Eddie found out what I had done, who I really was, well, he was pretty angry.
Indeed he was. So,
Others died to create me. And now you will too.
So, one thing about this game before we start is that it is based on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but the storyline that it adapts isn't, the first Venom in the Ultimate Universe was established before this, but his second storyline was actually kind of inspired by this game. This game came out in 2005, and Venom didn't return until, like, in the comics until, like, 2008 or something, I want to say, 2007, and then, it was one of, yeah, the first, it was at the end of the original run. So yes, it's a pretty simplistic combat style. You have Venom coming at you, but you also can, attack from above. You can't necessarily, there's no dodge button, but there is, the jump button, which is essentially your dodge. So we have to escape from Venom. So the ultimate Venom can actually feed on you and drain your health, which gives him extra health. It's a very interesting concept. Now we have to get him into these blue electric wires, but we can actually have this go on for a while. Yo! Come here. Aw, he's not being very cooperative. And I gotta say, the soundtrack for this game is actually really good. I know it might seem kind of bland at first, but it gets really, really good. The composer for this game is outstanding.
Lie on the ground with your hands over your head. Over you.
This guy got electrocuted, and then he blew up. And then Eddie's presumed dead. 3 months later.
I need it. It's not done. Give it back. It's really not done.
I can't go swinging around in my nerd clothes.
I just have to finish stitching up a hole in the butt, and then I'll give it back to you.
I can explain the hole in the butt, by the way.
Please don't. Come by the place in about half an hour, and I'll have it ready for you.
All right. I'm gonna run by home and grab my web shooters. I've been sitting on my tush all day. Time for a little workout. Let's start with some
So
wall
yeah,
crawl.
so the traversal in this game is very similar to the original
Just have a
Spider-Man
jump up
2
there.
game,
No biggie.
but there are some differences. It was the
Jump and then
second.
jump again. Sure, it breaks the laws of physics, but so do most things I do.
It's the second game or Spider-Man game that was free roam, so it's bound after Spider-Man 2. So
The spectacular
it's
leaping
it only makes sense that it takes a lot from this
sensational
game.
Talking to myself guy.
And I'm talking over Peter.
So easily.
Police have attempted to apprehend the man identified as 33-year-old Herman Schultz in a daring daylight bank robbery attempt. Schultz.
So now we got the web shooters.
Resisting is great for low
And,
abilities like
like the Spider-Man 2 game, you can use them to web swing and web zip. I also want to play the movie games, the original Spider-Man, Sam Raimi movie games. I remember having very good memories of those games, but right now I'm just going to do this. Oh yeah, and you can web swing as well. You hold down R2. You can also climb your web like this. You hold down triangle. And you can also go faster if you hit square, I think. But I think actually that's unlocked later in the game. You get upgrades throughout the game. But since it's one of those, since PS2 games didn't really have an upgrade system, you'll get them like after. You'll get them after completing a certain number of side missions or missions in the main story or whatever.
Ta-da!
You scared me.
You done with my butt? Oh, yet. from here. I need to skedaddle.
So now we got the Spider-Man suit, finally. This is our first time playing as Spider-Man, and we're about to go fight the Shocker, who's not going to look like the traditional Shocker that we all know and love.
Out of the way, Nicholas! All of you! Just back off! I never knew your name was Herman. Oh no, it's you! Well, you are kind of in my neighborhood, Herman.
Ha ha.
I'll go easy on you this time, Herman. I'll only use my webs.
So the only way to defeat Shocker is to use webs to destroy his gauntlets.
Call it a day.
Yeah, I know that the graphics are kind of, kind of outdated, but let's remember how Spider-Man 2 looked back in the day,
I'm wasting my
and
time.
how it looks compared to new games. This game actually takes, Brian Michael Bendis' art style, or not his art style, but his artist when he was making the comics.
Good old predictable Herman. See you around, pal.
Please, no. I got kids.
I got a dog. You've got a dog. That's a Herman. I envy you guys. You're happy just being walking cliches. Seriously, good for you. But come on, guys, leave the lady alone.
Yeah, this is another scene from the comics after this storyline after Venom, the first
There's
Venom.
one guy who's getting better. Two down.
I very much recommend reading the Spider-Man comics, the Ultimate Spider-Man storylines that this game's based off of. I think that they are very much worth reading. They look incredible, so it's not like you're going to be looking at, some bland art. It's actually very original. You have to web up the enemies
I need to get home.
before they can stay down. Or if you web them up while fighting, you just have to, you just have to knock them out. So now we're going to save the game. And, because this is again, PlayStation 2 game. So we need to continue saving. And it's weird, my copy of the game will always set me off at this random point before the Rhino mission, and so I'll have to go in here to load a game. So if there's ever a situation like that, when I boot up the game from the start menu, just, understand that, because I'll load up the game, and I'll explain it to you guys then. But now, we're going to go to Peter's high school. And, I guess as we're going, I guess we don't really have much time for the next cutscene, but, it's kind of hard to space in some things to talk about in this first part.
Spidey! Johnny Storm of the world-famous Fantastic Four. What on earth are you doing in Queens?
What, I can't be in Queens?
I have to be here, but you? Go save the world.
Oh, I got a better idea. What do you say, quick race around Queens?
What is this? You think just because you can fly in a streak of fire, oh, you can beat me?
I do believe that's what I'm saying.
And I've got 2 words for you. Bring it on.
Oh, damn. That's not 2 words, that's 3 words, Peter.
Set, go!
So now, we have to race Johnny Storm, and we get to do this later on in the game, but I'll be quiet for this part because I actually need to focus, because you can very easily lose this race, and the ones in the future are actually much more difficult. I remember last year I was revisiting this game, and they were very hard. And I actually got really mad with this game because they were next to impossible sometimes, and it really depends. You have to be really strategic during these races, but it gives you good practice, and it gives you something to do after the game's over. So yeah.
Dark Hawk is faster than you. I'll swing back and pick you up if you're too tired to finish.
And dang, we're like miles ahead of them. course, I say that, and then he's gonna be, you know, right on our tail. Alright, I think we did it. Yeah.
Oh, man. You're faster than I thought. Now I own you. Yeah, whatever. You ever want to race again, look me up. I'm usually hanging out by the Baxter building.
Alright, so now we got easy trick races, and you can also do races without Johnny Storm, but, you know, there's some interesting ones. And you got all these tokens around the city as well, and city goals, which the game requires you to do some, or a minimal amount, you know, to unlock story missions. So we have to find, I think, some more tokens to unlock the next one. And we got crime. So one of the interesting things about this game that I think a lot of people have been requesting for Marvel Spider-Man 2 is that they really want there to be multiple islands of New York that you can go to. You know, Manhattan was the main one in Spider-Man PS4, the only one you could travel to. It was, you know, spanned out pretty well. But, you know, in this game you can actually go not just to Queens, but also go to the island of Manhattan, and, you know, that's it over there. You can go underwater through a bridge. I'll show you guys actually right now if I can find the bridge, the tunnel. Or you could go up through the bridge, but it's very interesting. This game gives you a lot of freedom, and I really like that, especially, you know, when compared to some of, you know, I think it's a classic thing that I think in video games has, you know, more recently been lost. I think that not a lot of developers consider, you know, this level of freedom in an open world. And also the soundtrack in this game is like one of the best in Spider-Man games, or in any Spider-Man game, for that matter. One thing I will say is that I know this is a Marvel game, but I was thinking about reviewing the Flash, the TV show on CW. Recently, I know that they're coming to an end, but, you know, I've been a fan of that show for years, and I think once we're done with season 9, which is the final season, I really do think that I'm gonna sit down, you know, probably with Brownies of 666. We're gonna watch each season off screen, and then we'll give a review of each season. You know, just to get. I thought that'd be a cool project, and I think it'll be easier now that, you know, the stress of my political channel, Political Junkie 2414, is, you know, kind of. You know, I'm still posting on there way more than I am here, and I think it's because I got used to that channel from last year's midterms, but, you know. So now we're going to do the next story mission, and it's going to be really exciting, because this mission introduces us to a slimy little creature that we just fought earlier. Bet you guys can't guess who it is. We also got comic book tokens. But yeah, I think if you collect enough tokens in this game, like a lot of secret tokens, which is very difficult, you can unlock the black suit variant of Spider-Man's costume. I've never been able to do that, but that's what I've heard. Oh, there he is.
It's Thomas. Listen to me. I'm in Queens, and listen. I saw the suit. You heard me, yes. The suit.
So this is supposed to be Adrian Antunes, but he's not the Vulture in this universe.
I don't know what happened.
It's some other guy.
I don't know how many days passed. I don't even know how I'm still alive. If you can call this alive.
There he is. It's Venom. Oh, I love playing as Venom. And you might notice that the White Spider's not on Venom. In the Ultimate Universe, he doesn't have White Spider, but that's a detail that's actually important in the story later. And I thought I'd just point it out, but yeah. For now, just, you know, it's kind of like in the Venom movies where, you know, he doesn't have Spider-Man, so he doesn't have, you know, White Spider, although in this game, of course, Spider-Man, I think this is a different, there were multiple samples of the suit that Richard Parker created, and his dad created, and so you, So that's why Venom does not have the white spider here. Oh, and you get to feed on people, so that's what I was talking about. This is how you keep Venom's health from draining. If you guys didn't tell, even though those guys barely did any damage to us, our health is draining if you see on the bar, so we need to constantly feed. It needs sustenance, because the suit was not completed. It was not completed. It was an incomplete project before Richard and Eddie Sr. died in that plane crash. Yeah, playing as Venom just makes you feel so powerful. I'll show you guys this. You can break people's backs like Bane. It's very, very interesting way of combat. And now we're gonna fight Wolverine. This game's all over the place, but it's so fun.
Nice mess. You don't say.
Uh-oh. Alright, so we're gonna fight Wolverine.
That's my fight. You smash this place up. Where you supposed to be anyway? I'm the best at what I do. And what that is ain't pretty at all. See these claws? Unbreakable. You
Try to feed on Wolverine, I'll show you what happens, but you can't just feed on him, get rid of him like that, he'll claw his way out. And that's the same for a lot of boss fights here. Fights is better.
bad idea, bub.
I got him. Kicking his ass.
Bub, you have no idea how big a mistake you just made.
Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah, I prefer using long-range tentacle attacks. Those are a lot more effective, especially against Wolverine. But other boss fights too. I don't know why I keep wanting to say fights. These might be good. Damn. Take it. You got him. That was very quick, and now, after every, mission, you're pretty much back to being Spider-Man, whether it was a Spidey level or Venom level. So, with that said, I think that's a good place to stop for today, or at least for the first part. Thank you guys for watching this first episode of Ultimate Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2. Make sure to like the video if you like the content. Actually, there are some areas you can't go to. But yeah, like the video if you like the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my non-political channel, Interactor127, and my second channel, my Comrades channel, Growling Zeus 666. And so actually, we'll save this person and then we'll end this. Oh, we gotta save this person, that's right. Alright, uh-oh. We'll get there in time. Yeah, thank you guys for watching the video, and, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already liked the video. Check out the other channels, and yeah, this is Interactor127.
Spider-Man!
And I hope you enjoyed this part of Ultimate Spider-Man. So, see you guys next time.